This is ASUS N53S with respectable specs but in a very desperate condition. Hey, what's up everyone, I'm Andrew, and in this video we're gonna restore, make a few pretty good upgrades and back in function this ASUS laptop. This is ASUS N53S, and back in time, this model belongs to the high-end generations. This model has Intel i7-2670QM CPU. This is 4 cores 8-read CPU with Intel HD 3000 graphics. The dedicated GPU is Nvidia GT540m DDR3 with 1 GB of video memory. The RAM is 4 GB DDR3 and the hard disk is 750 gigs. Basically, this laptop has a great specs, but this laptop is in a desperate condition. The laptop is covered with dirt and dust. One part of the keyboard is not working well, but I think that is because of dust and nothing serious. The other problems are, the laptop sometimes is crashing and the blue screen appears, and the laptop is extremely hot. When I do the basic tests, even under the minimum load, the laptop overheats and it's switching off immediately. Well, let's start and back this laptop in function again. As usual, first I will start with disassembling. I will remove the screws from the bottom side, then the screws from the top side under the keyboard, and I will remove the motherboard. I'm doing this because I need to check and clean the motherboard, and to clean the case from the inside. Well, this is the motherboard, and I expected more dust from the inside, but I think the overheating is coming from something other. Now, after I remove the motherboard, I will separate the display from the case, and I will remove some other components from the bottom case, because I'm going to make detailed cleaning. Well, this is it. Now I will start with the motherboard. I think the overheating is coming from the laptop's cooling. How you can see, the laptop's cooling is never removed and cleaned before. The security sticker is untouched, and considering its age, this laptop is in use last 6 or 7 years, and probably the thermal paste is totally dry. Well, first let's remove the heatsink. Well, the thermal paste is totally dry, and it's like concrete. Now, first I will clean the CPU and the GPU from the dry thermal paste. To remove the dry thermal paste, I will use a plastic spudger stick, soft brush, cotton buds and 96% alcohol, also known as isopropyl alcohol. If you're going to clean some dry thermal paste, then you need to be very careful. Dry thermal paste is hard to remove, but that is not the major problem. Over the CPU and the GPU there is tiny components that mostly are covered with a dry thermal paste. So you need to remove the thermal paste, but you need to be extremely careful to not damage some of these components. And somehow, if you damage one of them, then the entire laptop will not work. So be very careful. Now, after I clean the motherboard, I move on cleaning the heatsink and the cooling fan. Well, this is it. The motherboard, the heatsink and the cooling fans are like new again. Now I will apply a fresh thermal paste and I will mount the heatsink. Well, now after I finish with the motherboard, let's move on the other components. First, I've started with cleaning the bottom case from the inside and the outside, and I remove even the tiniest dust from the case and the components from the inside. After the bottom case shines again, I move on cleaning the top case. Here also I pay attention to any single detail. I want everything to be perfectly clean. Now, after I clean the both cases, I move on the keyboard. To clean the keyboard, I will use a soft brush, cotton buds and 96% alcohol. Also, if you're going to clean laptop keyboard, you need to be very careful. The laptop keyboards are very sensitive and easy to damage. Especially be careful with liquids. Even pure alcohol like this one may damage the entire keyboard. But if the alcohol or liquid passes to the inside, between the keyboard layers. In this case, I have to clean the keyboard perfectly, so I pay attention to each key separately. I clean every single key from the inside using brush and from the top side using cotton buds and isopropyl alcohol. This process actually takes almost 2 hours, but in the end, the keyboard shines again. Well, now let's move on the display. Here, first I start with removing the major dust and dirt, and then I continue with in-depth cleaning. To clean the display, I will use a 96% alcohol, anti-static glass cleaner, cotton buds, soft cleaning cloths and soft brushes. 96% alcohol and anti-static glass cleaner actually is a really powerful mixture to clean almost any display, no matter how dirty it is. Also, if you're going to clean some display, then you need to be very careful. First, do not press the display hard. You need to press very soft and very gentle, and especially be careful with the display edges. Never let any kind of liquid to passes over the display's edges, because the display on the edges is very sensitive, and if the liquid goes there, then you may damage the entire display. Well, basically this is all about cleaning. Now, after everything is clean, it's time to assemble this laptop and do some upgrades. Well, this is it. And now let's do some upgrades. The first upgrade will be the RAM. From 4 gigs DDR3, I will upgrade to 16 gigs DDR3. Well, the second upgrade is the disk. From hard disk, I will upgrade to 512 gigs SSD. The SSD will boost the performance, and this laptop will run much faster. In one of my previous projects, I have used the same SSD model. This is Nvidia SSD and probably one of the less popular brands. But personally, I'm really satisfied from the quality and the speed. I have used this SSD couple times, and personally, I never have some issue or something. Well, basically all is done with the upgrades. But there is one more optional upgrade that can be done. Instead CD-ROM, using a disk caddy, I can install another hard disk in this laptop. But for now, I will leave the CD-ROM, because this is my friend's laptop and my friend needs CD-ROM. Now, after I finish with making all upgrades, I move on installing the Windows. And as Windows, I used the Windows 10. After I install the Windows, I cross over the standard procedure. First, I did online Windows activation, and then I continued with installing the drivers and the other things. But there is one more thing that I want to show you. This ASUS model officially supports 16 gigs of RAM. But unofficially, it can go up to 32 gigs. For example, this laptop has Intel HM65 chipset and Intel i7 CPU that supports 32 gigs of RAM. Actually, this combination allows to go with over 16 gigs of RAM. In this case, I install a 20 gigs of RAM, because temporarily this is all that I have. And everything is working fine without any problem. The important thing is that this laptop passes the 16 gigs barrier. You probably didn't know, but many older and newer laptop models actually can go over the manufacturer limitations. Well, now let's move on testing. The overheating problem now is gone, and the laptop is working normally without any problem. The blue screen that appears before now is gone, and this issue actually is coming from the old RAM. Actually, one of the RAM models is failing, but now everything is fine. This ASUS laptop is working surprisingly fast and without any lags. Starting from booting into the Windows and all other basic things. The web browsing is incredibly fast. The web pages are loading fast and all is going without any lags. Even on this laptop, I try to watch 4K videos. And everything is going very smooth without any issue. Now, let's move on to gaming performance. Because I want to test this laptop more, I install a few games. Actually, I want to see how this laptop is performing, to check is there some problem under the full load and to check the temperatures. And the first game on the list is the GTA 5. In this game, first I go with 1920x1080 resolution and normal settings. Using a 1080p resolution, the game is playable, but the frame rate is about a 20. When I try to go with lower resolution like 1366x7068 and all normal graphics settings, the GTA 5 is fully playable. The next game on the list is Call of Duty World at War. This is older game but with higher requirements. In this game I used 1920x1080 resolution also, but I set all graphics to high. On this laptop, this Call of Duty is running very smooth and it's fully playable, and the average frame rate is about a 27. And the last game on the list is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. The Modern Warfare 3 is running very smooth, and this laptop is perfect for games like this one or some other games from that era. In this game I used a 1920x1080 resolution and all high settings, and the average frame rate is about a 38. Also while gaming, the laptop temperature was pretty cool, and everything is going without any problem. Well, basically this is all about this ASUS laptop. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope this video will give you ideas and inspiration to back some tech in function again. Also, if you want to support me to grow this channel, you can press the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.